Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Style Esports here today. We've got week 3, day 2 coming at you hot. We've got New England Stormwolves Thunder taking on Emoji Police. I am your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined by the lovely Jarl Carl as my color. And I am actually making my debut here over at Style Esports. So overall, really happy, really excited, just interested to see what all this is about and how it's going to work through tonight.
Indeed, I am very excited to have you alongside as well, Zephyr. So on behalf of everybody here at Style, welcome aboard. Should be a good matchup. We've got the New England Stormwolves Thunder on the blue side, taking on Emoji Police on the red. Couple of picks rolling through the Ashe, a very, very standard pick in the meta. Everybody picks Ashe. Everybody likes Ashe, apparently. Probably the best AD carry right now, continuing the trend of AD carries being first picked, and I would imagine Emoji Police will respond in kind, but they're scratching their heads over this first pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of responding in kind, we do see that Caitlyn thrown out again, so no Caitlyn. I mean, this really does not change, Jarl Carl. This is standard bread and butter. We've seen the Ashe and Caitlyn come through for the past 2 to 3 months here in this meta, and the Senna is no surprise to be pairing with that as well, doing great into the Ashe lane.
Of course, does, do very well against most AD carries. At the moment, received a couple of nerfs in the last patch. It's a little bit less chance to get a soul off of a minion that is killed, so a little bit of a shot to that AD carry or marksman style Senna. But still being picked up here. I still don't really agree with the Caitlyn ban. I think she's a little bit lower down in the tier list than people are giving her credit for with the nerfs that rolled through the last couple of patches. But again, both bot lanes already locked in. We have double hook champions. I would be very surprised if there's not quite a lot of fighting in these two lanes.
No, absolutely. It looks like both of these teams are lining up for something a bit more aggressive towards their win con, something that, they're not going to be looking to just passively scale it out, sit around, wait for the objective. And that Hecarim pairing through on Stormwolves side is just backing up my point. Excellent.
Hecarim, another champion that has really shot to priority, to prominence in the meta. In the last couple of patches, I've seen him, dominating solo queue. He's been picked in a lot of the games we've had here on Style. Theoretically, could be a flex pick into the top lane. I don't imagine we're going to see that coming through for the Stormwolves Thunder. Not, very, very popular, but it can work out occasionally. A very old school pick into Aatrox in the counter. The Evelynn, to match the junglers. We're just going roll for roll right now, Zephyr. I like this pick a lot. I think Evelynn is very underrated. That invisibility can really throw a wrench in the works of teams everywhere.
Personally, I never really see the Evelynn come around, but I can see the purpose of it into this comp here. That's going to be of the same importance when it comes to disruption here that we see from something like Hecarim. And like you said yourself, the invisibility is going to be pulling through and putting through that work that we're looking for. So no surprise on that one. And having that extra burst damage and mixing it up, giving them some of the magic prowess that they need, that's definitely going to help Emoji towards finding a victory here in game 1.
It certainly will. I think also just at, the non-upper echelons of play, we're in about plat, high plat, low diamond area of ELO here in Style Esports in the Ionia group, by the way, the second of our 8 groups in terms of rank. It just works well against lower ELO folks. The invisibility, it can be very hard to track junglers. You need to have vision down. You need to know where that Evelynn is, or if she can get behind you very easily, you can get blown up really, really quickly. I'm sure that's happened to everybody here in their solo queue games. And like you said, I like that point a lot. Brings some magic damage, opens up the potential to have a Yone, a Yasuo in the mid lane, more of an AD focus. We'll see if one of those two brothers comes through in this one. A lot of top laners already taken off the table.
Yeah, a lot of dueling potential across the board here. Kled, Silas, Fiora, Jax, everything very particularly in with the fighting. Some of your major tanks are still available for either team here. I just don't know if that's the type of style they like to play through. Emoji is going to take the mid laner first here. They're going to leave that counter pick up towards the top side. So I'm really curious to see what strong top laner they hopefully pull through there. But the Zoe, no surprise, sadly not the Yasuo you were looking for, Jarl, but still going to be just as impressive.
Probably more annoying, I would say. I think Emoji Police with the Evelynn Zoe combo, talking about annoying, not champions that anybody wants to face. The invisibility, the bubble that randomly comes flying over walls, that's definitely not fun.
Randomly.
Echo, well, you know what I mean. We're going with it anyway. Echo picked up, I think, able to kind of get away from the Zoe bubbles. A little bit more of a standard mid lane selection here for Stormwolves, as they have a couple of seconds to lock in their top laner. They have, their choice of top laners minus the, somewhat numerous number of bans.
Set. That's not a set.
I'm gonna guess it's not a Kiana either, but we're gonna find out. Good old pro draft is making us figure. That's a
Ah.
Shen. That is a Shen. So I will presume the
No,
team
yeah,
has figured
Shen
that out.
definitely works, and that's a definitely great blind pick. One of the better top laners to surge back into the meta in these last few months or so, and it's no surprise the guy can absorb pressure like a maniac, and he has the potential to make great roams with the Stand United always being available. The Wukong in response, I know Emoji's looking to play aggressive here, but in terms of countering through with that Shen, I just don't think that's going to work out. It's got the team fight presence, but getting through that early game, I just don't think he has that available.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I just had to communicate between the captains here a little bit. We did have the champion selector, the lobby not showing the chat for the side of the Emoji Police. So they did not know about the Shen. Let them know about that. It will be the Wukong and it will be the Shen, and we're all set to go. I don't hate the Wukong pick here. I worry for Emoji Police's front line. Not a lot of tankiness up against like a Shen Nautilus. I think they will have a little bit of trouble potentially getting through that. The Wukong, if he can get to the back line, obviously can do a lot of damage, but it's really just the Ashe that he can actually hope to one-shot. Echo likely going to be diving in his own right, and also has the ultimate to go back. So I think the Wukong, I don't hate the pick in general. I think it may have a little bit of trouble having that massive impact that you'd like to see Wukongs have, though.
I mean, hey, the Evelyn is always available, and the Shen's not going to find a good counter to that early. So if you look for a good rotation towards the top side, you could potentially see some of that gold shoveled his way and see just a little bit of success in that. And personally, I think that's exactly what Emoji needs to do. They've got a bunch of lanes here that succeed early, and they need to take the time to really make the moves around the map and get something explosive going on. Because if they don't, the team comp here from Stormwolves is just so much easier to play through, especially as you get the scaling up and your Ashe just becomes a menace.
Absolutely, right. Later on in the game, the Ashe arrows, again, there's not a lot of tanks. Anybody that gets hit by that arrow could be going down, before the stun duration is out. And I think the jungle, also a little bit of a ganking mismatch early on in the game. Evelyn just gets a lot of power when she gets level 6, getting that camouflage for herself. Hecarim, you can gank at level 2, level 3 as Hecarim with the E movement speed. A lot of damage. We'll see what the Keystone selection is for him. We've seen Hecarim's taking Predator, Phase Rush, Conqueror. But right. I think, if he's able to get his lanes ahead, I think that could kind of bridge them into that mid-game, where I totally agree. This comp is a lot easier and a lot just more pleasant to play.
No, absolutely. So I think there's a little bit of a timer. There's a bit of a short window here for the side of Emoji Police. So say they do well in the early game. Say they find success and you've got some just hot carries, whether it be through that Senna, which probably won't, but maybe the Zoe, the Wukong, Evelyn gets fed. Either way, they're going to spread the wealth here. I'll give them about till 35 minutes. That's kind of the magic number I always run with, because 35 minutes is a little bit before you have your late game scalers and your massive team fight present comps really activate and come online. So Emoji, if they find success, I'll give them till about that number. But if they do not, it is just a constant uphill battle for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 35-minute mark also, it may be getting onto that Elder Dragon stage. Elder Dragon's kind of just a random beast. It feels like in League of Legends games, sometimes you have Elder spawning at 27 minutes, and then I think, I cast one game the other day, and Soul was taken at, 42 minutes, and it's like, what's going on with this one, folks? But I agree with that. I think Emoji Police eventually will, if they can get far enough ahead in Snowball, obviously they can win this game, but basically to your point, just to echo it, if you don't get far enough ahead, if you're not able to end the game, eventually like Shen Nautilus is just gonna look at you and say what, and
yeah,
I think we'll just kind of
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
there's too much of a frontline presence, and that actually may be kind of the difficulty that Stormwolves will run into here early. The really only source of damage is going to be that Echo and Hecarim early on, that pairing the two of them. The Ashe will activate eventually, but in terms of the early, 10-15 minutes when you're contesting for those mid-game dragons, Zoe, Evelyn, and Wukong are going to do far more damage and put much more work in, especially as we have some of those great ultimates coming through, whether it be the Cyclone or the Last Caress. So I think Stormwolves, what they really need to do is they need to prevent the future, stunt some of their own bleeding, and just kind of like ease it out. There's no reason to let it go. Put your faith in Boxing Buddha on the Hecarim. He'll make some work happen around the map. He'll stave them off and get you to that mid game where you actually start to feel like you're really doing something. Because to their point, if they actually bleed out, it's, in my opinion, a much harder battle, because you extend the time that you give towards Emoji Police for them to find their win con. And the longer you extend that out, the more opportunities they have to finish your game. And personally, early game champs with massively destructive capabilities have plenty of chances to find the end.
They absolutely do. And Ashe on 1.5 items, realistically, is not scary. It's just not a dangerous champion. I think we've talked about how the Stormwolves in this game, they have a very pleasant team comp to play, going on in towards the late game, especially for Yomi on this Ashe. This is a very unpleasant game to play as an AD carry. Evelynn, Wukong, Zoe, Senna, these champions are all remarkably frustrating to play against if you are a marksman. Basically outranged by all of them. Evelynn, randomly jumps in your face from behind you. The Wukong can stealth in. Zoe bubble. The Senna, you go into late game and, okay, I lost half my health. The Senna's off the screen. And so I think Yomi, I would like to see just kind of turn into more of an alt bot as we get later on in this game, especially just trying to find a pick, catch the Zoe out. If you can catch the Evelynn out, that's great as well, because I don't think this is really a game where the marksman's going to be able to actually just stand and auto attack.
No, I would have to agree. Tony Little and Piku Niku definitely have to put their faith and pull it out there, get the sustained peel going for Yomi, just so that she is able to get through some of this early game on that Ashe pick. You really got to put your faith on Leo here. He's going to be the only carry that can really get in and find success without having the risk of getting, picked off this early, especially once that Chrono Shift is available or Chrono Break is available. So no surprise there. I do think that's the kind of contest, that point, that little win con for Emoji Police. All they really got to do is start rolling with the punches and getting fed off that Ashe. Find those little kills. Maybe you can look at Shen in the top lane if you're lucky. That's some good magic pen. But either way, that's all you really have to do. And once you spread that around, some of that gold gets flowing. I mean, Emoji Police, they just got to run it down. Well, not end, but, run it down.
Yeah, that's essentially all they have to do. I think it's an interesting point that Leo on the Echo is the only one that can actually go out. Shen likely going in, probably on boxing Buddha. They're going in. They're not coming back out. Ashe isn't going in or out. Probably just going to be going to the Death Chamber. And Piku Niku on the nose likely going to just be going in as well. So I think Leo is the one that really needs to be trying to go for that little bit of extra on the plays because he has that ultimate to get himself away. And I think it's very important that Thunder stay together in this game. They don't overextend, overchase, because they easily could get picked off by, the Evelynn, by the Zoe, by the Senna.
Absolutely. So with all that being said, the win cons are in place. We got the early versus the late. Both of these two teams, we're just going to have to leave it up to the players. With that, though, here at Style Esports, we're going through a short little break as we get everything set up for the first game here. So stay tuned, stick around, and don't click away from that browser. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thankfully that was just a short little break. We're already back into the first game here of a New England Storm Roofs Thunder versus Emoji Police. Two teams here. We've given you the best that we can give you when it comes to giving you the understanding. If you're just joining us, nothing has happened thus far. I'm still your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, and I'm still joined by the lovely color, Jarl Carl.
Thank you very much, Zephyr. We are into this. You have not missed a thing. If you are just joining us, so you might be missing this invade if you're not quite here yet. 5 members strong walking in for the Storm Wolves. Bruce walking himself away, though. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine on this one. They're going to sustain a little bit of the vision here, and immediately you see the response from Brian. I believe it is Lee or Lai. Yes, Brian Lai on the opposite side of the map. Going to get the extra vision, hopefully, on that blue buff there, especially as it nears closer to 130. Potentially see the pathing of Boxing Buddha. Oh, no, he doesn't. That's an interesting placement on that one. I wouldn't opt for going for the pixel brush there.
Yeah, I just don't think that does a whole lot for him.
No.
I mean, you're not going to track the jungle early, which is, very, very important. Obviously, having that jungle tracking in the first couple of minutes. Yeah, he might see Boxing Buddha if he walks onto that scuttle crab, but that's going to be, past 3 minutes into this
too
game.
late.
And at that point, your ward's almost dead anyway. So I do like the switch to the sweeper. Obviously, that's very, very standard. Clearing that one out, 10 gold over to Ponchers. But that vision is, definitely not in his favor. That pixel brush ward didn't get almost nothing done.
I'll say this, though. Stormwolves, they actually come out on top just a little bit. While they didn't find a kill, they do have the information on their side now, knowing that Evelyn is going to be starting that blue side, which, to be honest, really is no surprise, but it's nice to have that confirmation available.
Absolutely is. Especially with Evelyn, even though she doesn't have the invisibility early, it's just nice to know where she is. That the charm can be very difficult to get away from, actually. A little bit of trading in the mid lane. Sleepy Bubble goes down. Everyone is fighting.
Bubble. Yeah, he's going to take a huge chunk of damage there from the Battle Star, but sadly no one thing to finish. Jeez. Just general poke across the board here. Sorry. Looking at the hook there onto Bruce Lai. The root going to come through as he hooks him back towards the turret here. Unable to get him through there, but very nice response in terms of the trade.
Yeah, everyone just wants to.
Yeah, just everyone, I guess.
Right now, a nice punish on the level 2.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice little level 2 power spike there in the bot lane for the Thunder. Able to find that dredge line in. Unfortunately, got hit with the death sentence in return, so it didn't end quite as well as it could have, but still a nice bit of pressure exerted right now by Thunder.
Yeah, Thunder definitely pushing the pedal to the metal. And speaking of that, Boxing Buddha making the play up on the top side there on to player number 6. Sadly, he was spotted out just a little too early. Just didn't quite get the monkey in his grasp, but potentially we could see him now make a rotation, whether it be mid or he could come back top off a teleport.
Just didn't walk over that way. Expired. Finds the Dreadler.
Yeah, going to be running straight into Brian Lai there. Forces the flash out. Now, I didn't quite think that was necessary.
I'm not entirely sure that Brian needed to flash away. I think maybe a case of better safe than sorry, right? You don't want to give away the double buff to that early game hacker him. But you might be going at it again. Like I said, that ward did not have impact. Boxing Buddha could be in trouble.
No. Pinch going to come through. He's going to slam that E back. Ogopoke is there. The Drowsy Bubble going to come through. First blood over to the way of player number. Brian Lai just barely making it out alive.
Only a little thinking about maybe going over.
No. Calm down, buddy.
Leo here at the same time. Everybody going to be okay. I think everyone's walking away from that. Barely survived there. Did the Evelyn. A nice little collapse, though, onto Boxing Buddha, realizing, hey, maybe this guy's doing the Scuttle Crab. We have top prio. We have a little bit of mid prio. Able to collapse there. I think the Hecarim maybe a little bit too greedy to try to go for that crab after his engage with Evelyn. I think probably thought, oh, Evelyn's super low. I just got her out of this fight, but she did come back. That charm really spelled his doom.
Yeah, no, plus the player number back probably fueled that a little bit as well. Not expecting the Wukong to be there right on the bat, so no surprise. But now those double buffs, they're going to be putting the work here on the top side, straight into Tony Lil. They're actually going to force the flash out of the Shen here.
Not a good sign for the Shen. And of course, you always hate it when your laner comes back to lane with first blood and double buffs at 4.5 minutes into the game. But this just makes the lane a lot harder for Shen, who, in some cases can actually be a lane bully. This game, he is the one getting bullied, going to teleport back into lane. Player number 6 has to walk himself away. But those double buffs will endure for a couple of seconds more. He should have a couple of waves of shove with those once he gets back.
Hey, man, he made good use of those double buffs. He got the flash out, and now Shen for the next 4-3 minutes. You could potentially see the rotation from Brian Lai that we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, we certainly could. I also just went back to the Shen point just for a brief moment. I think also he'll have level 6, but he will not have that flash. A lot of times, Shen, when you come out of that Sandy United, you want to go for a taunt flash to try to catch somebody who might be retreating. That play is not going to be available anymore. A lot of agency from the Shen just kind of taken away because he doesn't have that summoner.
You know what? That's okay. I'm looking for...
Hook goes down in the bot lane, as we may have lost Zephyr from this one.
There.
Like we're
back.
He's back.
There
He's
we
back.
are.
Zephyr's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that one. Lion here going to be following up the chase on here to Brian, Lion, and Olga, but he's going to be taken out. But Yomi is there to go for the cleanup in response to secure another kill here for Stormwoods. They're going to look for Brian Lai, but he's a bit too far under turret. The dredge line going to come through, though, to secure the double for Yomi. Nautilus gets out just fine. My apologies on that one. Just a little bit of technical difficulties here. Am dealing with a nice typhoon right outside my house.
Yeah, natural disasters, always take a little bit of precedent over the good old internet. But it was a very nice fight. We got through it, and you came back for the end, right? It's always better to be there at the end than at the start. So we'll take that. A nice fight overall for the Stormwolves. 2 kills in the Ashe, 2 kills in the Echo. That's where you want the kills to be. On the other side, though, Brian Lai also picking up 2 of his own. So I think we're really starting to see who the carries are going to be in this game. Can this Evelynn go toe-to-toe with the Echo and the Ashe?
Absolutely. I think that Evelynn needs, just personally, I think the Evelynn can get on top of the Echo and Ashe at any given point. The Echo's going to be definitely a bit harder. The Chrono Break, something you're always going to have to deal with, but come into that bot lane, get the Invisible ready, throw the last crest down. Trust me, if Bruce pulls through with a great death sentence or gets that box on, that is a secured kill, and you're gaining yourself a huge chunk of shutdown gold and potentially some on-to punchers there.
And theoretically, as we see a bit of a parallel convergence, but a bubble, I think, will deny.
Yeah, that's going to deny it.
Yeah, no lasting damage really from that. But anyway, in the bot lane, sure, Nautilus theoretically has peel, right? The dredge line, the auto attack,
theoretically,
the ultimate. But against an Evelynn, it's way too slow, right? She's going to put the charm down on Yomi. Yomi's going to be gone.
Oh,
that's unfortunate. Not what you want to see at all in the mid lane there from the Echo. Uses the ultimate. He was trying to go for that clip of damage, was not quite able to find it. Player number 6 takes a bit of trade there in the top. But anyway, yeah, Yomi's just going to get one shot by this Evelynn. I think pretty much regardless, actually, of how bad either of them are in this game. It's kind of just how Evelynn works. There's no shielding other than that Sandy United. Can Tony Little push the button in time? Because Ashe is going to go from 100 to 0 in a very rapid fashion.
Absolutely. Up here at the top side, still seeing the trade come through. Tony Little just a little bit more tanky now. Going to be a little bit difficult for Wukong to actually find success. He does have the 1 kill from earlier, finding it onto Boxing Buddha, but I'd still like to see some rotations here from Brian. He's got that extra kill now. Need to start seeing spread the wealth because this is an early comp, of course, and if you don't gank, you're just going to keep finding yourself in situations like that, where Stormwolves continues to possess the gold and find themselves into a stronger and stronger mid game.
Level 6 has been hit by Brian, which, goes to your point. Runic Echo is completed as well. Huge spike. 80 ability power in that item. Absolutely massive. Is spotted out by a bit of a hawk shot for now, but will regain that camouflage. And it's kind of like, TF on that, TF Nocturne, I should say. Really, really powerful first ultimates. You want to see them used quickly. TF that hasn't ulted by level 9 is not playing the champion correctly. The same is true for Evelynn. She's got to go for one of these ganks relatively soon as she's playing right around the roads with a horse.
Yeah, the horse going to be taking it straight there. The spike going to come down as well as Ignite. Last crest over the wall, but going to be followed through with the onslaught. Boxing Buddha going to be taken very low as he runs straight into the hands of player number 1. We see the Stand United used immediately in response, but it does not save the day. It's going to be the 1-for-1 trade on the top side.
Not quite enough. With that Stand United, both top laners using ultimate, both junglers going down, but in the end, it is player number 6 once again picking up some double buffs for himself, as that is definitely not what you wanted to see. If you were Tony Little, his lane just got harder once again, as this Hecarim also, strong play in the early game we mentioned, is very far behind.
Leo here makes that rotation up towards the top side, potentially to find something onto player number 6 there, but sadly does not come out on top.
Ultimates available in the bot lane for the Stormwolves, not available for Emoji, please. Look at the pressure they have.
That's going to be the 3v2, and Pika Nuka going to be taken out immediately. Looking for the escape. That charm, though, potentially going to come through, and it does land. The Dawning Shadow for the shutdown. That's going to be the double kill working its way there onto Ponchers.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not think that the Dawning Shadow was needed, but I do think it was very smart to get that shutdown gold onto the Senna, start kind of spreading that around, getting her rolling. Senna, of course, has a huge amount of carry potential if she's able to get ahead of curve, especially with those souls really stacking up the damage. That's a great play by Brian. I don't know how deliberate it was, the level 5 versus level 6 to bait a fight, but I don't care. It worked beautifully done. That was a great game.
No, absolutely. I think Brian coming down there, this is exactly what I've been discussing. We're starting to see the rotations, and now the early game prowess of this team is starting to work its way out here. So now you've got your carries. Senna's getting a little bit ahead. The Mana Moon has found itself out. You've got the Runic Echoes straight onto Brian. The Wukong, of course, is just going to be your disgusting backline menace. So either way here now with the Dragon's going to start putting the pressure onto the map, whether it be over there or could be potentially by the Rift. This is where you start taking those team fights. You start finding your victory path. You got 25 minutes.
Yeah, based on your analysis of that, I think that's very, very accurate. It's just so hard right now if you are the Thunder because you need to play the gank time.
Look at this. Onslaught Shadow's going to push it out of the stun there. The flash going to come through no matter what. They're boxing Buddha very, very low here. Teleport coming through from player number 6. The follow-up immediate. Leo going to actually deny that, but the team not going to secure it. Now Dredge Line from over the wall. Last Press going to secure that one. Chrono Break going to use immediately as we see the Cyclone to get the reverse.
Members come through. I think we lost Zephyr once again. Yeah, a bit of a typhoon. Once again, every time in these fights, the internet says no, but it is the Emoji Police saying, yes, we will take your dragon and take your fight. They are really starting to get rolling. As Zephyr, are you back?
Yeah, I believe so. Not much I can do about that one. It's a shame, but, this is what we got to deal with. The life, the storms, they bring it to us as much as we can handle.
Yeah, can't argue with that at all. Yomi under the tower here.
Teleport response, though, here. Going to come through from Leo. We're going to see the Chanted Crystal. The box going to be putting down the pressure here, but Leo does not care. Great use of the Death Sentence. He flashes forward. Does not find the kill there. Tony Little, though, from deep in the back line here. Bruce alive. Barely managed to weave his way through that. Ends up onto Leo as they see the return there. Going to pick out Oga as well. Potentially look for the dive now here onto Ponchers. That's going to work its way over to boxing Buddha. Great use of the stopwatch there from Pikaniku.
Very surprised that more kills didn't come through faster as Evelyn is able to make her way out of this one. But in the end, it worked out reasonably well. They juggled the tower aggro beautifully, getting a couple of kills back, but still pretty scrappy. This is not a team that you can really fight easily in the form of Emoji Please. Evelyn.
Ryan. Yeah, the back's going to come through. Yoma's all alone. You don't even need last crest at that point. That is too far forward, too greedy. No need to stay with that plate.
That just looks like it hurts, Zephyr. It's just very unpleasant if you are the Ashe. Also, almost everything that Thunder had for that play was expended. Both teleports were used. Tony Little still has the Stand United, the main tool left in the kit. But double teleport, yeah, they won the fight, but to me, that was not a super convincing fight, especially the kill given back at the end. I think they're trying to get back in this game, and I think they do risk falling even farther behind if they continue trying to force. I think they need to go about this in a very, organized fashion, not going for desperation plays, because that's exactly what Emoji Police would like them to do.
I mean, now you find yourself dealing with player number and Brian, respectively, both 4 up in the kills. I mean, Brian himself, that's like a 10 kill participation. That's literally almost 100% of the kills on the map. You want to talk about making the rotations? Brian's done it. Now the follow through here onto the Dredge Line route, onto Ogopoka. Great Lantern, though, to save the day. You're going to see the Death Sentence in response there with the Flight of Bolt. Leo sexy back here. Drowsy Bubble, going to put this man to sleep. But the Dawning Shadow, you thought you were going to block the Paddle Star, but that's not what was going to hit you.
That is not blockable, friends. You cannot block a Dawning Shadow. You can't stop the Dawn or the Shadow. Yomi also has to flash himself out of that one. Jungler's going at it. Brian forces the ultimate. That's the power of that Evelyn with the 4 kills and the Magi's.
I mean, they're paying their respects, but they're not paying them enough. They should have paid him a little bit earlier here, because now this is going to be straight Emoji Police's game, as they're just going to continue putting them pedal to the metal here, and they continue to assess the kills. However, in Poncher, personally, I don't think Senna is a very early game champion. I mean, she doesn't find great kills until she really gets towards that mid to late game. Ooh, Pikanika looking a bit rough here. The stun going to come through as that Death Sun's going to throw him around. Chance Crystal going to be used in response to the massive Pal Star hits Yomai. But there's Brian Lee deep in the back lane. Stand United not going to save the day. That's the double here for the Evelyn.
That's the problem with the Stand United as well. The Evelyn sometimes does, more damage than the shield comes through for, in addition to the remaining health bar. You can also have a problem where you can't join the fight, right? You go in for that Stand United, immediately you feel like you're, I'm saving your teammate, I'm on the way, and your teammate goes down, and you're not on the way. You're standing in the top lane looking like a fool. So Stand United not going to quite work out. That's the power of Evelyn. 17 stacks now on the Magi's. I was just going to say the gold lead's only 2,000. It has now ballooned past that. We're double to 4,000, but the pressure right now by Emoji Police is just crushing.
No, yeah. Emoji Police has shown that this comp, which personally, like I discussed earlier, does not have a really ease of access when it comes to the general pacing of the game, they've thrown that to the wind. They've picked up the kills. They've got their massive lead. They're starting to really snowball it out. I mean, they started snowballing it out about 3 minutes ago, Jarl. Either way here, they're taking it, and I personally don't see many mistakes. We had a little bit of a slip up towards that bot side when we had that chase ensue, but other than that, I mean, Emoji Police has been solid through and through. They're starting to pick up the objectives. They're getting the turrets down. And personally, I feel like this one's really starting to fall wayward here.
This is like, the snowball is just on the edge of the cliff, about to go down, edge of the hill. I guess snowballs don't really go over cliffs. They more go down hills. Anyway, about to roll down the hill on this one. And it's only a 4,000 gold lead right now. But I think in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes after one big fight, into a second dragon, into an early baron in a couple of minutes when that spawns, this could very quickly become an 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 gold lead game. On the other hand, Thunder, I think this is really their last chance probably to actually get back in this game. If they want to have a prayer, I think they probably need to win this next fight, likely around the Ocean Dragon, which is spawning in 15 seconds.
Yeah, or they could let that go uncontested and potentially try to scale up, find the gold here, maybe look for better positioning on some of these team fights. Personally, we really haven't been actually seeing a team fight at all. There have been just general picks across the board, and then you see people like Brian Lee come in like the Jenner clean it up. So either way there, Bruce not quite going to find the death sentence on that one as the turret does find its way out here for Southwood. So a little risky, but they do find success.
Everybody survives, but the teams are congregating. Tony Little, no teleports right now. Teleport is down. Stand United is down for just a couple of more seconds. They'll have that available in 15 seconds if they're able to stall that long. The Thunder, they don't look like a team that wants to just give this up.
Ooh, excuse me there. Either way, that dragon going to find its way into the hands of Emoji Police. No contention. The flash coming through from Bruce and Ogapo respectively there, but it doesn't find its way onto Yomi. Bruce going to follow this one up. Pikanuku very low. Number 6 deep in the back line using the Cyclone there onto Leo the Lion. Going to use the Blast Cone to keep the chase going here. Going to get that dash off. The Cyclone reactivate to get the double knockup. Chrono Break is available. We're going to see the Stand United used in response. Now Boxing Buddha taking the fight. Brian Lee going to go down as a result there. You do not take that straight into the Evelyn. Ooh, Chrono Break used immediately to sleep. Straight into the hands of player number. Ooh, Bruce not quite able to find Tony Lil there. He's going to have to back off this turret, though. Cannot make the defense.
That Dragon contestation did not go very well for the side of Thunder. They try to get back in the game, just doesn't work. The full engage comes through from Emoji Police. Pick up a couple of kills, not a decisive fight once again. Like you said, we haven't really seen that major 5 versus 5 team fight with mass casualties. Just a couple of members going down every time. But the pattern of it is Emoji Police coming out on top almost every single time that they do fight. Continuing the gold lead, it's still only about 4,000. This tower is now under fire, but they're stacking up for that Ocean Soul. Boxing Buddha, maybe looking to go for something, but the disengage should be beat fairly well right now as Emoji Police, they're just in a very pleasant position.
And right now, the Baron has found itself onto the Rift here within the next minute or so. And personally, I don't think there's much in the way of Stormwolves to find their way onto this Baron or defend it at all. Because once that's picked up there, that is nigh definitely game.
Yes, any kind of a major objective, a super major objective, that's not really
super.
Super major, let's just throw all of the adjectives together. But a Baron and Elder Dragon going over, even the Ocean Soul, I think would almost certainly be curtains. Never say never, but pretty much say never if the Baron goes over, if the Ocean Soul goes over, or, an Elder Dragon past that. And so at some point here, in the next 8 minutes, probably Thunder, they need to come up with a way to actually win a fight. They've managed to not lose a fight and get aced, but they haven't ever shown an ability in this game to actually come out on top in fights, to win it 3-for-1, 4-for-2. Something, that they've gone 1-for-1 a couple of times. That's not going to be enough to actually get yourself back in the game.
Personally, I need to see more work come through here from Tony in boxing. Sadly, I don't think the knowledge pick was very good here into the Thresh bot lane. It doesn't really collapse enough, and you don't actually find the pick, especially when you have so much peel and safety in the Thresh. But that doesn't give an excuse for Tony and boxing, respectively. They can make the appropriate flank. They can come through. They can start these team fights off. And to be honest, they've been playing very defensively, much to their, demise. They have no choice, but I'd like to see if just some general proactive play, maybe get the early vision out, try to secure some pacing, and potentially find a pick. And one pick is just enough to just kind of stave off the end of this game for just a bit longer.
I think they look a little bit too timid in this game. They've gone for a little bit. Sometimes Boxing Boot earlier was trying to find picks under Brian Lai. That's not happening ever anymore. This Evelyn, nobody can 1v1 her at all. Probably as a team they have to go around, try to get some vision. If you're gonna get vision, it likely has to be done as a group, just because of this Evelyn, the pick potential from the trouble bubble as well. But to me right now they just look like a team that is just waiting to lose. They're just gonna sit in their base. They're gonna slowly lose. Yomi's about to die right now. I don't think we even need a commentator over that.
No,
let's see if he can get out.
Into the last crest. You're going to see. Look at that. That's the Lantern. Lantern pulls through. Your Nautilus doesn't make a pick. You're essentially useless. Response here, the teleport going to come through from player number. And we know how aggressive this guy likes to make his impact. Straight with the Cyclone Charm coming through. There's no tank stats to save Pikanuka's day. He's going to be taken out. And with 2 members down, I mean, that's just barren. They can try to contest, but that's barren.
You can try all you want. You're not going to have any success with this. Boxing Buddha doesn't have the ultimate. Looks like that's going to be called off. No real contest coming through either. A beautiful play there by Brian Lai. Straight the kill onto the Ashe. Gets himself out. Last caress over the ultimate and then into the Lantern. Very well played. Teleport in as well. This is a team that has looked more and more coordinated and more crisp, I think, throughout the game as well. Really growing into it. The Goldie going to expand more off of the Baron right now. They are in dominating fashion. Yeah, maybe you're going to lose your tower, but they look like they want to go for the fight even potentially. Also potentially not. Back themselves away.
Not quite.
On the table.
Yeah, no,
go ahead.
No, I mean, they could potentially look for the dragon here. That's going to bring them up to soul point. So, I mean, if there's anything here, I like you said yourself, Stormwolves is just essentially waiting for the end here. I mean, at this point, do we start discussing what to look for into the second game here? Because Emoji Police have shown time and time again that they really do not falter here. And at this point, they're kind of too fed.
They are, I mean,
just kind of.
you could say that, Zephyr. I think that would be, maybe a little bit
not
of a
crazy,
stretch,
not crazy.
Definitely not crazy. I also like Agopa is trying to join the Magi's train. He's saying, "Hey, books look fun. I'm gonna try to buy one of those for myself as well." He's got a little baby book. Yeah, it's like the kindergarten book. He's writing in it, but it's not really not really getting there. I think for game number 2, I mean, really, I think this team just needs to be more proactive because even the whole game, I know they got behind early, but they just have looked really timid, and I think you can kind of help that if you pick more aggressive early game champions. The Hecarim is pretty aggro the early game, I think it's fair to say. I don't know if that needs to come from the jungle or where else, but right now they have a team that is a great mid to late game team fighting, pretty standard comp. And apparently that's not working for them, especially up against Emoji Police. Emoji Police clearly want to play with tempo. They want to play aggressively. You need to match that in the next game, or I think we're likely just going to see a repeat of this one because Emoji Police, they look like they're not going to just make mechanical mistakes and accidentally throw the game.
Personally, I think you need to see a general improvement across the board here, whether it be in the macro play or just the general lane advantage. You cannot give away these early kills and bleed out. I mean, what is Tony Little doing here? I mean, forcing the onslaught, going to be used there for the double fear, but there's the Stand United in response. Leo's going to come through here for the stun. The Enchanted Crusader lands its way there onto Bruce Lai. Dawning Shadow going to be used to just pump out damage. They're going to step up deep here, but they don't find any kills, even though they're pumping it out constantly. There's the return. There's the double here, and now the chase going to ensue. Oh, the Poke's sexy line can't get the stun off of that Palstar. That's going to be the double for Brian. Yomi, they flash forward there. Oh, over the wall. He's still rooted. Paddle Star from Ogopa. Now, Pikanuka, the only one left alive. They still managed to land the Drowsy Bubble. The double kill with another Paddle Star. Fantastic movement there from Ogopa. And with that, I mean, this is game, personally. You got 20 seconds on the timers. I mean, you could potentially see the defense. There's only 4 members available. I honestly think they either just take the inhibs and reset, or they try to finish this one out.
Agopa has gone from the kindergarten level all the way to the high school level straight away. 18 pages, the in-net Magi Souls to it. And Bruce Lai finally died at the end after tanking 4 or 5 members for 10 or 15 seconds with the stone plate, with the aftershock. This Thresh was so tanky, buying an incredible amount of time there for his team, letting them get off their damage. A very worthy sacrifice there for his team. Both inhibitors are down. The Soul is coming up in 2.5 minutes. So is the Baron. Emoji, please. Everything but the nail in the coffin has been put into this game.
I mean, the sad thing about that last team fight, I didn't think it was very good. I mean, it was enacted and started by the fact that Tony Little was out of place, and they had to make a response, or else it was just going to collapse eventually. And the thing was here, they managed to find some good fears. They managed to separate the teams out. They actually found the kill onto Bruce, but then the rest of their damage was pretty much non-existent. Now, of course, that's because they're so far behind, but they couldn't focus a target. They couldn't make the identical plays. The cohesion just was not here. And this is a comp that needs teamwork to find success.
Indeed. Teamwork is very important generally in League of Legends, but also in a composition like this where you need to be coordinated when you're going in, diving into the bag. They haven't looked necessarily like uncoordinated, especially just because they're so far behind that a lot of the fights kind of look that way. They just haven't looked coordinated either. They're just getting there's a flat line. It's just NA on coordination. It hasn't looked good. It hasn't looked really that awful, but right now they're just getting run over the map. Leo is not in a good place.
Yeah, straight into player. They're going to be forced to use Chrono Break immediately. That's not going to be available next fight now. I mean, that's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but what's the point of that? Why? Why? Where's the follow-up? Why was the... Okay, moving forward here now, Brian Lai. They're going to look for Tony Little. And just... Stormwolves aren't in a good place here. Yomi's just trying to put this one out.
Yeah, they switch places, and that's not likely going to end well, but the Stormwolves likely going to see the game ending fight here, any second. Bubble goes down here.
Dawning Shadow on the Buddha. Tony Little taken out. Great death sentence to secure that for Brian Lai here. They're going to keep the push going here as these Nexus turrets tick down. Leo trying to find a stun there on the Echo, but not available. Pal start deep in the backline. We see the Onslaught Shadows on the go, but they do find the kill there. Boxing Buddha now putting this one out, but it doesn't matter. Yomi is dead, and with the Nexus being the only thing left alive, Emoji Police find an incredibly successful victory.
Very, very well done. You said they had till 35 minutes. They're saying we'll lower you by 8. 27-minute victory there for the Emoji Police. And honestly, it didn't really look, Zephyr, like they broke a sweat in winning this game. Yeah, they lost some kills along the way. The kill score wasn't, that dominating, 30-2 that you might see. But this game, everything, especially except the scoreline, a complete smash. They were up in tempo the whole time, up in pressure. They just looked like a much better team. It honestly, to me, looked more of a team versus a solo queue team compared to 2 actual competitive teams. I don't want to just hate on the Thunder side, but I think they really need to relook at their team cohesion and the way that they want to play the game going into the second of the series.
Absolutely. I don't think the team fight presence was there. And they, like you said, it wasn't that they didn't have coordination. I mean, didn't have, it was uncoordinated. They just didn't have coordination. And so personally, I think they need to find something that is a bit more proactive is a good word, but they need to find something that at least carries them through the laning phase of the game so that they don't get to this mid game and they just kind of come up short, which is exactly what we saw. So personally, I'd like to see a bit more aggression, but aggression without bleeding. Something where you take the trade, but you don't end up trading yourself as a result. Crazy hot take, I know.
I know. I of course I'm gonna agree. I think you just have to get through the laning phase. I don't care how you have to do it. We can throw out all the buzzwords, proactive, cohesion, whatever. But
dude, just don't die.
Yeah, when you come out a lane with every lane losing, it's very hard to win the game if all the lanes lose. And that's really what we saw in that game, is just kind of domination across the board. And so I don't know what the Thunder need to do. I'm not their coach. It's their coach's job. You just have to get through the laning phase.
Absolutely. So either way, we're going to be taking you guys to a second game here as we get everything organized, get these 2 teams into their appropriate lobbies and bring that forward. With that, stick around and stay tuned for what will be an exciting game 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Style Esports. I am your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, still joined by Jarl Carl. He hasn't quite run away from me just yet. If you're just joining us, Southwest Thunder find themselves in a little bit of a slump here, losing against Emoji Police after their insane victory. Oh, God.
Yeah, the oh god sentiment at the end
Oh,
is
God.
both a good reaction to that game and also probably what the Storm Wolves are saying right now in their team lobby. Oh god, what do we pick? We're going to find that out relatively shortly, I feel sure, here as we are under that pro draft. Couple of bans rolling through. Evelyn taken off the table. That makes a lot of sense. But like you said, a demolishing game one for Emoji Police.
Absolutely.
A huge amount of tempo in the early game. Really looked cohesive. Looked like they had a game plan and they executed it to a T. A very short win, relatively 27 minutes. It's a pretty quick win these days. Didn't even need to go for the soul either, so that kind of shows how dominating that was. Didn't need to rely on the objectives, just on the fights. Stormwolves, they did not look like a team that was really a team in that last game. They just kind of folded like a piece of paper and lost. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of a backbone in this game from the Stormwolves, but I think they just need to really change up how they're playing the game. And sometimes, sometimes teams thrive when they do that, and sometimes teams just fall even harder.
Yeah, no, three things I'd like to see from Stormwolves. One, team fight. Try it out. It works. Preferably not 2 minutes before your Nexus explodes, but it's part one. Second, stop dying. Especially into that comp, guys. The bleeding, especially when you're playing a team fight comp. You gotta stunt the bleeding or else you're never gonna find success. The last thing, to be honest, you guys just gotta play the proactive game. Stop. I mean, what was the word we used last time, Jarl? Timid?
Yeah,
don't be timid. Come on, step up to the plate. You're here. Prove yourself. Push it to the pedal to the metal just as hard. I'm not saying int, but you gotta make those plays. You gotta find the early vision. You gotta set up for some of these drakes. There was a lot of times where it just wasn't there. Either way, I'm just rambling at this point. Ashe, Caitlyn, no surprise as that ban slips through.
Yep, Caitlyn on the table. I still don't think it's that great, but hey, what do I know? I'm just an analyst here. So the Ionia was actually banned out in the last game, not banned in this game by Stormwolves. The Emoji Police able to pick that one up. And Zephyr, you got a 3-point plan. It's pretty simple, as all 3-point plans should be. Try to team fight, don't die, and also try. So those are the three things that we're looking for from Stormwolves. A little bit of effort and a little bit less inting going on. You'd think it would be simple, but often it is simpler said than done. So Stormwolves, they have the Ashe Karma. That's a pretty strong lane. They're starting from a place where maybe you can get something done, although we saw the Ashe in the last game. Honestly, it didn't really get a whole lot done.
No, I never thought. I didn't think Yomi ever had a chance to get anything done. When you're running into such an explosive comp like that, you're never really going to be able to fight or do anything, especially when your Evelyn is so far up here. Either way, Stormwolves, they're gonna run it back with Leo on the Echo here. And to be honest, I just don't like Echo in the mid lane anymore. I think there are stronger AP burst mages that can come through. Echo finds a better role now in the jungle, in the hands of them creatures, the PvE lane. So to see that constantly being played out, I don't think it works.
I just don't like Echo really anymore generally. I think you can play him in the jungle if you want to. I still feel there's better picks. I also just don't like the idea of running back. Yeah, exactly. There's just better picks. I just don't like the idea of running back the same comp once again, right? You got demolished in the last game. And just from a mental perspective, as a team, you probably don't want to try the same comp again, right? I know there's, the salty run back and all that, but you really got to switch some stuff up. The Ashe Echo, your two carries are exactly the same. They didn't really find a lot of success in the last game. You changed up one ban in your draft. That was like your main draft adaptation. You gave away the Orianna. The Nautilus, another hook champ, is going to be down in the bottom lane. A super strong AD carry, still Caitlyn in the meta. I don't think she's awful. I just think she's not as OP as she used to be. I think Emoji Police right now, they're sitting relatively pretty. A couple of junglers are going to get banned out, but they should still be able to find something they can be proactive on. I really don't think that NESW have changed up their draft in really that many meaningful ways.
No, I think Stormwolves, I mean, potentially they're listening, okay? Potentially they're listening here, Jarl. They say, all right, first game was a fluke. We found ourselves kind of in a hole, and then, we had Poncher say, all right, here's a shovel, and then we kind of had that hole and get to work and slowly dug it, and then there was a grave, and then we saw game one end. personally, maybe they just stop that. They say, all right, let's just not die.
Yeah, don't die. Again,
Hey,
that's
set.
I would say that the don't die is the most important of the 3-point plan.
What was
And
the general kill score last game? Just
25 to 10.
Yeah, don't die.
Yeah, don't die. Less than 25 deaths, and you will maybe have a better chance. I like the set. Jokes about.
I called
3-point
it
plans
game one, by
aside.
the way.
Yeah. I remember you going set, and then there was no set.
Happen.
But this time there is a set. It's a delayed onset on this one. Zeph, they're gonna have a set. Just a strong champion can get a massive amount of work done in various situations, right? You can go for some engage, you can go for disengage, you can randomly one-shot you with an AoE true damage thing that does more damage if you hit him more.
AoE.
You know,
the haymaker, my baby.
Yeah, that's fun haymaker. Yeah, up push 10 again. So the Shens went over. Actually, switch teams. Excuse me about that. My brain just decided it didn't want to think anymore. But Emoji Police will have the Shen, basically borrowing the strong champions from Stormwolves last game, the Nautilus and the Shen. Both pretty strong picks. They have their Orianna, a Kindred, another aggressive early game jungle. If we see the same jungle success, Kindred can be almost as devastating as Evelynn.
Okay, first thing I like right off the bat from Stormwolves is they do have a bit more deeper engage aggression. Okay, Kled. You don't pick Kled unless you're going to hard run it. That's literally his ultimate. Charge. And that's something that I need to see from Stormwolves. Charge. I don't care if your charging is, whatever, but I need to see the entire team charge, okay? Three people versus the one kind of going into it. I need to see that. Having the set available as a massive engage with the showstopper, awesome. Having the karma, that could potentially lead to a great route, something to work with, the slow up on the Q to come through. Echo, that's a fantastic engage. You've got a lot of engage potential now here for Stormwolves. Okay, do it. You've got the potential. Engage. Okay, instead of footing around in game one like we saw, go for it. My gosh, I feel like I'm a broken record, but it cannot be slammed harder.
I would agree. Sounding like a broken record sometimes is accurate about what's going on in the game. I think the Kled helps them go in just because, like, people want to stand in the Kled, right? You get bonus move speed. That's cool. You're gonna like accidentally end up engaging the fight. Like, ooh, I move faster. Let's go. Oh, I'm in a team fight. What do? I'm the Stormwolves. I don't know how to do that. But I think there could be some accidental team fights going on. I think the Kled lets you. All you have to do is push a button. And even if you're not that grouped up, you can probably still get into the team fight. I think the set and the Kled have made this team comp a lot better for what the Stormwolves need to do in this game. With that being said, Emoji Police, it's not like their team comp is bad. They got the Orianna. They have a pretty strong bot lane. They have Kindred that can pop off a ton in the jungle. And Shen is just this kind of rocking the top lane right now. Really strong champion. Should be just fine up against Kled, I would imagine. And so I don't really think the Emoji Police are going to be that dissuade from trying to do what they did in the last game. I think it's really just up to Stormwolves with their slightly improved comp to really try to meet it early on instead of just giving those first 10 minutes away again.
Personally, I think, though, we talk a lot about the engage potential of Stormwolves. Emoji has insane disengage. And just a quick response. Kindred, Lamb's Respite. You're literally not going to die in a team fight, and you can come back and play around that. Shockwave on the Orianna. Throw that into the Shen, into the Nautilus. You're going to crush the entire structure of any fight in that one. Meanwhile, you've got Caitlyn sitting on the back end of this fight, hopefully as far away as possible, just pumping it out. I mean, that's really simple for Emoji. They see that hard engaged charge, they just kind of walk away.
Hopefully. Just walk out. You can throw the Shockwave also behind is a nice little counter engage tool, kind of like a Zyra ultimate. The Kled comes in, he's got some friends with him. Hey, your friends, they're going to get Shockwave, and then you kind of isolate the Kled and do some damage to the backline. We'll see how well that comes through. And like you mentioned, a wonderful ball delivery, Nautilus or Shen. The Shen on Kindred's back. There's a lot of ways you can get the Shen in the middle of this team. And a Shockwave onto Echo, Karma, and Ashe, even Set and Kled, they're not wildly tanky champions. Obviously, they have much more tanky characteristics than, carries, true carries. They are the bruisers, but they can take a lot of damage, especially if Orianna's pretty fed. You can lose 30%, 50% of your health from one combo while your carries are getting one shot. So a Shockwave easily could turn this fight around. Emoji Please, excellent disengage, disengage / counter engage, Lance Respite, boom, all your combo just didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. One thing to note here, Boxing Buddha on the set, the Hecarim has a lot more engage potential in terms of ganking these lanes. The set, not quite the same. He's very teamfight oriented. He can potentially find some good rotations if you find Emoji out of place, But other than that, we're really going to be looking for him to find success once you start seeing the grouping around the dragons and the objectives and the towers and whatnot. And the thing is here, Boxing Buddha showed us last game that in terms of the proactive engage potential, he really wasn't living up to it. In comparison, Brian is just disgusting. And in terms of pathing, rotations, ganking, the Kindred's perfect. I think you're going to see an absurd amount of pressure come out of this side of it.
These junglers more on champions that I think suit their play styles that we saw in game one. Kindred, very similar to the Evelynn. And the set, if Boxing Buddha really just doesn't want to gank that much, and we didn't see that much ganking.
You know what? That's okay.
He's playing set. You don't have to gank as much. You're much more team fight oriented. The Hecarim it wasn't using what the champion wanted to do in that game. That early pressure and the ultimate, just huge disruption of the backline. Almost always the ultimate was to get himself out, not to go in, because they were too far behind by the time they were actually grouped up. And I think that the set may allow him to kind of utilize the play style that he's more trying to go for or just is going for than that Hecarim, where it seemed like he was just kind of fighting his own champion to get done what he wanted to do.
So big eyes here, especially on Boxing Buddha and Tony Lil. In terms of engage potential, I mean, should shut up. But that's really what I'm looking for. So curious to see how they perform. We've seen what Yomi and Leo can do on their respective carries. I think Panuki being on something a bit more of an Enchantress rather than a Nautilus, I think that's going to work out, especially since he really is adept at playing Lulu. So I feel like he's kind of in his ballpark. Potentially we could see something surge back here from Stormwolves, but Emoji is just absurd.
Yeah, this team looked fantastic in game one. I expect we'll see the same. I'm excited for this mid lane. I think your point about the karma is good. Being on Enchanter support, the hooks didn't really land last game for the Nautilus. Bruce now on that champion, we saw him heat-seeking on the Thresh. Nautilus hook is a lot wider, so I would imagine we will still see fighting in that bot lane. But I think, will it come down to the junglers again? If Brian is able to get super far ahead, I think it's going to just be curtains. Maybe Boxing Buddha and Tony Lil on this more teamfight style champions will be able to bring the Stormwolves back, though.
Yep. With that, though, we're going to be taking it to a short break as we get everything organized going into the second game here of New England Stormwolves Thunder versus Emoji Police. Stick around and stay tuned for what could be the final game of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Style Esports here. Second game here of New England Stormwolves Thunder versus the Emoji Police. If you're just joining us, Emoji Police find themselves one up in this best of three. I am your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined by the lovely Jarl Carl as my color. Whew, welcome back to the game, Jarl. There's a lot on the plate here for the side of Stormwolves.
Thank you so much, Zephyr. There's a lot on the plate right now. They have a mountain to climb. You would definitely feel after game number one. Will they be more proactive? Will they all just int? We were talking a little bit during the break there. Int with the Kled ult. Of course, you see the little movement speed. You go running to your doom straight away. Everybody in one direction. They're funneling in. So we'll see if Tony Little can be more proactive with it, or if he will be more proactively bringing his team to the slaughter. I think is an interesting point. Also, the bot lane a little bit different than we saw in game number one. We don't have two hook champions, so I think it will be more the Caitlyn Nautilus lane trying to push for that advantage. If they are actually going to go for the all-ins, the Karma and the Ashe more likely to just try to poke down and get pressure that way. So a little bit different in the style. I do like to see the cleanse on Paunchers against the Ashe Arrow. We didn't see cleanse on Yomi against the Evelynn. Don't really think that mattered a whole lot. The Evelynn was so strong, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference there. But I do like that Summoner spell. Pauncher should be able to keep himself safe generally against those Ashe Arrows.
I mean, I will say this. We're really looking for the team fight phase of the game to begin, to start seeing these teams really define who's going to be finding the victory here into the second one. But the thing is, that was the same win con for Stormwolves last time. And they kind of threw it way before the team fight phase even began. So first off, right off the bat here, 10 minutes. That's it. One kill. I'll give you like 1 or 2 kills. That's all you're allowed. Till then, if you could do that, you are freaking golden.
Yeah, they also have to then get to 10 minutes without having died more than once. So that was, again, a huge part of Zephyr's three-point plan. If you missed it, in the Champions Select, we'll recap briefly for you. Do a team fight.
I'm up for election.
Don't die, and try was a very important third point there.
Don't die, try, and team fight.
Yeah, so he is up for election, actually. You can vote for... Actually, be sure to vote, everybody. We got an election coming up here in the United States. Very important.
Brother.
Everybody get out there and vote. Apolitical, you know, we just support voting. Leo supports getting auto-attacked a lot, and he's really enjoying those on the back.
Hey, taking advantage of the Orianna passive, you know?
True.
Stack damage on a continuous target, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, it's really actually quite a fun passive. I enjoy on-hit Orianna a lot as an AD carry main. Whenever I get auto-filled, my teams, unfortunately, don't tend to agree with that.
Not quite.
No.
I prefer Rage Blade on her, to be honest.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Anyway, we're moving on from my Orianna preferences. I think for the Thunder, like, their goal, honestly, is just to get out of the laning phase and then get to the team fight phase. It was the same as last game.
We cannot say it more than once.
We just have more hope. That there's more reason, like, there's a different angle. The first game was, they just got to get out through the lane phase, and then they'll go to team phase. This game, it's like, they need to get out of the lane phase without having lost the game. And so there's a little bit of a different angle to it, but, you know, they have to get out of the lane phase, and then they have to do well in the team fight phase, and I think it's those kind of double win conditions, both of which they failed last time, that give me a lot of pause for them actually ever being considered a favorite in this game.
Boxing Buddha there, looking for the gank, and he shows immediately why Set not quite the best ganker. We talk a lot about him being more team fight oriented. He's going to run straight into Brian Lai there, but he's learned his mistake from last time. Not going to be pinched like he was on the Hecarim.
Successfully has not died. We're at 4 minutes right now, Zephyr. 8 minutes to go. 1 death still in the bank as Zephyr's allotted number of deaths.
Good job.
Yeah, there's 6 minutes left. I wouldn't get too excited.
Calm down.
For yourself right now. Already a wave advantage in the bot lane, actually, after 4 minutes in favor of Emoji Police. So that's not great if you are this Ashe Karma. The poke just really isn't quite on in full force yet for them, as Leo is once again getting auto-attacked.
Hey, he loves taking those, but he does get the response, and I actually think he comes out on top of this trade this time. Ooh, great dredge line onto Pico Nico, going to force the flash out there. Sadly, that won't be up for 5 minutes. Potentially, we'll see a gank now from Brian towards the bot side.
An immobile bot lane made even more so by the use of that summoner. Brian could come down in the next 5 minutes, would easily be level 6 as well. Maybe even see a tower dive or something of the sort coming in with the Shen ultimate at level 6. So a lot of ways that flash could be punished by them absolutely shortly. Yeah, and the CS lead has grown even further up, more than a wave at this point.
Either way, here looking to see something come out here for the side of Stormwolves. Like I said, the 10-minute scan just going to keep letting it out. The Dragon is available. Ultimates are going to start coming alive here across the board. Just play it out safer. One thing to note immediately here is the losing CS across the board here for top and bot respectively. No surprise on the Shen end, but for Yomi on the Ashe paired with the Karma, I mean, that's a double ranged matchup. I mean, that is a lot of poke pressure. The fact that they're not taking advantage of that and coming out on top early here, it just doesn't bode well for the laning phase as a whole for them.
It does not. I mean, we're 5 minutes into the lane. They're level 4, and they're already down more than a wave. In a lane that theoretically should be able to poke back. They haven't really even gotten hit by the dredge lines. They got hit by the one. Niku had to flash out. No real harm, no foul in terms of like CS off of that. Nobody died. They weren't forced out of lane, and they're going to start up the dragon now. I don't know if this is really going to be successful. A BF Sword Caitlyn is very quickly approaching.
Yeah. Potentially see the rotation here from mid, potential teleports as well from player number there. He does have Stand United available, unlike Tony Lil, who does not have the charge up, not just quite yet. Lion there, not quite able to hit the stun off of that one.
Little bit.
Footing. Ooh, dredge line there. Root onto boxing Buddha. He's got the full stack grid. Teleports coming through there. Line deep in the back line. They find the kill onto Lee. Teleport completed. Massive shockwave, though, in response. His player number picks it up onto Pico Niku. The Dragon doing some work, putting the slows out here. Boxing Buddha with the double face breaker to get there. The stun trying to come through, but not before Ponchers gets the return. It's going to be 2-1 in favor of Stormwolves.
That fight looked good at the very start, in favor of Thunder. They were able to actually secure the first blood for themselves. Flash in the mid lane. Gopa stays terribly alive. Both these members below 5% HP. But in the end, it is a big shockwave. It is the Stand United able to keep the team alive long enough to really turn the tide in that fight. Dragon and a couple of kills for Emoji, please. And, based on what happened in game 1, this is already worrying.
Already worrying. At least we do see one kill go in response. And one big thing, too, was that was a 5-man. That was a team fight. They did come together to try to contest out that Dragon. And to be honest, looked a lot better than it did in game 1. They were actually able to pull something out instead of just taking the punches and then finding themselves in a massive losing condition. So at least there is that. And this, I told them, 2 kills. Okay, you get 2 kills here in the first 10 minutes. If you're giving any more than that, it does look a bit dire. So good to see that they're still on track.
Yeah, they're on track. I think they're likely going to get out of the winning phase, at least at the current rate.
Not like last game.
Yeah, they'll get out less behind than they were last game. I don't think they're going to come out with a lead. I think they're going to come out mildly behind instead of moderately behind. Will that be enough come the team fight phase? Honestly, I wouldn't bet on it, but I do think that they've given themselves more chances come the later stages of this game than they did in the previous one.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot more to work with here, too, in terms of the composition. I felt like it was a bit too straightforward last time, putting too much faith into Yomi. This time around, you can see success out of top, jungle, mid, and 80, respectively. So, if you find a carry at any given point, like we're starting to see kills stacked up towards Tony Little, I know it's just one, but hey, man, one's better than none. Either way, that could potentially see some birth and give way to some general success and gold across the map.
It definitely could. He is down a lot of CS already, down 20 farms. So the gold still actually in favor of player number off that kill and assist. But every stack starts with 1, Zephyr. And if you're going to, you got to get... The Kled is a very good, carry potential in these mid-game teamfights. Kled does a lot of damage, randomly remounts. Obviously not actually randomly, but a lot of times it seems like, oh, he's back on his mount again. And the charge engage, if he's really, if he's ahead of the curve, he's able to survive a little bit longer once he's actually in the backline with that charge. And so I think that kill being on Tony Little is a very good start to the game here for the Stormwolves.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's see what he plays through with that. He's going to go pretty aggressive here onto player number with the double dash. Scarl going to be pulled out there. Taunt not going to land, though, in response. Tony, he's looking to stack that passive back up, get his little lizard friend back, but no kill to follow up. Meanwhile, the shockwave does land onto Leo, the sexy line. He's going to use the chrono break. Doesn't get too far away, though. Brian Lai with the first kill there in that mid.
It's not what you want to see if you are the Stormwolves. That's the 3rd death at 9:40. So
we almost did it.
Excuse me, my throat decided it was done talking for the moment. But that's the kill goes over. It's only 3. They exceeded their budget a little bit, but everybody exceeds the budget. So they're
Like
2,000 gold behind. They're down a dragon. It's not ideal. It's better than it could be. Giving the kill over to the Kindred, definitely not good. She's half the way to 4 marks. That means she's at 2. Quick math, folks. Once she's able to get to 4, the range goes up, the damage goes up as well. Kindred scaling is probably not as scary as Evelyn, but it is still a little bit terrifying.
Yeah. What a shame there on that wave up on the top side. I mean, Tony Lil can actually take some of these fights against player number, but his management, just because he doesn't have the Scarlet available, isn't coming through. And actually, I feel like player number is really pushing it far better. We do see the engage, but I mean, no follow through.
Yeah, just nothing. You know, Tony Lil, he's going in for these, but the key spells aren't quite landing. He's not getting that perfect combination that he's looking for to actually continue the fight, and it's allowing player number to just keep shoving in this wave, continue having this advantage, and it's working out, fighting the bot lane.
Yeah, dredge line knock up there. Gonna be forcing that flash again. Sadly, if that occurred just a little bit earlier, Yomi though not gonna punish this out. You're gonna throw that one through there. Find the just suppressive, but just no damage yet. I mean, just a Bilgewater's.
Yeah, Ashe she's not at that stage of the game where she can really, you know, machine gun people down. She has a Bilgewater Cutlass that's not going to be DPSing anybody down. She still has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Piku Niku is in a terrible place right now. 35% HP, no flash in this lane. Any hook could be a kill.
Yeah, any hook could be a kill, but nothing to be found as of yet. Ooh, this could be a potential dive on the next push from Brian Lee. They do spot him out, though, with the early ward there. They're trying to make sure he doesn't find that stack, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go for the engage. Bilgewater is going to come down. Massive stun, though, with the Enchanted Crystal. There's going to be the Lamb's Respite as a response. Player number comes through with the Stand United. Massive taunt as Puncher picks up Piku Niku. Ogopogo and Punchers have arrived there. Leo the Sexy Lion going to use the Chrono Break. Over the wall he goes with the flash. Kind of face planning there, but hopefully going to find his way out, but not before he runs straight into Ogopa. Going to find another kill there. 2 kills up again here for Emoji Police.
Those are the key ultimates that we called out in Champion Select. The Lamb's Respite and the Stand United kept Brian alive for so long. Player number able to join the fight. Teleport not available for Tony Lil. He could not follow. Numbers advantage for Emoji Police. A very aggressive play by Brian, just walking straight into the opposing jungle to get his mark. But he was able to secure it, was able to pick up the kill there. Those ultimates came through. A nice play by Emoji Police, and suddenly at 12 minutes, they have 2 dragons once again.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be stacking towards, I believe, the mountain. So the extra tankiness only going to be working in the favor of Emoji Police as they constantly push the damage here further and further away from Stormwolves.
Yeah, they're just, you know, the pressure is being exerted once again, and maybe there's better tools in this game for the Stormwolves to fight back against it, but they still have to fight back against it, and I think we're seeing this hesitance once again from them. Boxing Buddha, he hasn't gone for the gank, and I know it's not as much of a ganking champion, but he hasn't found any success that way. Tony Lil hasn't, you know, really gotten anything done in this top lane, and so I think they're once again starting to slowly get shoved down. I like the Herald in the mid lane, but it's a little too early. I don't think they're going to get this tower.
No, they're not going to find the tower. I don't even think they're going to find the gold. Let's watch there. Okay, they do manage to get the 240 onto both of them, but the push isn't going to come through. Oh, I'd be careful there, Boxing. You're going to run straight into Brian, and this guy, he is a bit stacked.
There you go.
Ooh, straight with the charger from Tony Lil. He's unable to find the bear trap on the line. Octavio steps up. Facebreaker not quite going to get the stun as we see the response there from Nahlas. Massive haymaker, but it's not going to save the day. Goes down due to Ogopogo as the Chrono Break comes through as a result. Now they look for the escape here. Good slow with the Q, but the flash forward from Brian Lee to get the root passive. He tries to eat towards the mini wave, but he's too low. Another kill onto Ogopa. Meanwhile, Piku Niku looking very, very dangerously low there. Sadly, Kindred not able to find that one.
Tony Lil likely going to be the last casualty of this.
What a shame. Running straight there. He's going to try to get the Scar off, but he's not autoing. Sadly.
That's not how you remount there. Running in a straight line does not help you remount. That was a 4v4 that was engaged by the Thunder, and it didn't even look close. Got turned around on them immediately. The engage went nowhere. Brian Lai was able to just hop himself over the wall, dodge the charge. That engage, you know, melted just instantly away, and they kind of just found themselves all in a choke point. Oh, look who it is. It's the Emoji Police. The members that are there, a big shockwave. The Lamb's Respite barely even, not even used, I don't believe. Don't remember it coming down. The shockwave only hit, you know, 1.5 members as well. So this is not those giant ultimates coming through again. I mean, credit to them for trying to go for the fight, Thunder, but that one just did not work out.
Yeah, did not find success, and ooh, it's starting to really stack towards Emoji.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
I just
yeah,
really simple there.
that's really all there is to say. Literally stacking up on Ogapa in the mid lane, who is
Olga, Brian,
currently rocking
Punchers.
217 AP with an item and a really lengthy book. He has really picked up. He learned from Brian in the
Hey,
last game. He says, "Build it
yeah.
early." That's what he wants to do. And the kill participation also 7 out of 8 in the mid and the jungle, doing very well for himself. They're so far ahead. This fight in the top lane. I mean, Tony Little, at least he's going for it, but he's not winning.
Yeah, little too aggressive there, not quite coming out on top. He does get this mountain. I mean, I'm looking for the re-engage from player number. I mean, there it is. Okay, perfect. Had free will. All he had to do was go for the taunt and easy kill. Okay.
That didn't even look hard. He didn't have to flash.
It wasn't. That's what I was saying. It was just like, come on, man. Just get the job done.
Yeah, we were both kind of waiting it. We're just both kind of sitting here waiting for it, right? He's going to go for the taunt, right? He can kill him, right? Right? And he just walked up, pressed E, pressed Q, and clicked on the ground. So that works out for him. The Shen is wildly strong. Bruce Lee should be fine. And the pressure is Shockwave even in the mid. Arrow, okay. Arrow goes wide as well. Stormwolves, they're just falling apart.
Stormwolves, they're not really looking good here.
Yomi.
Throwing the skill shots. Oga, straight into Brian's clutches there. Did not have a clue. Meanwhile, the dredge line going to land. There's the teleport comes down from Tony Lil. They're going to throw the depth charge onto him. Don't think that was really necessary, especially since he had the home guard off of the teleport. Meanwhile, Brian here potentially looking for a re-engage here. Deep potential dive lambs for Spite. Ooh, flash forth from boxing. Buddha too low. Grit, he's going to get the haymaker, but not before Punchers gets the return. Stopwatch coming through there as we see the deep engage with the charge onto Punchers. Going to use the cleanse as Brian Lee comes over the wall. Taunt from player number to get the double kill, though, on the Punchers there. They step up, and another kill goes the way of Brian. That's going to be the 3-kill lead there on Emoji Police.
A beautiful fight again by Emoji Police. The Stormwolves, everything is just falling flat. The engage, they didn't have the arrow. Everything missed. Boxing Buddha win. The Flash Phase Breaker found nobody. Parallel Convergence found nobody. And when your skills don't land, you can't win the fight. They tried to be a little more proactive. Maybe they're just trying to go for the fights, but that's just not it. They just look outskilled. They look like they're outdamaged, and they just look like they're completely out of their depth in this game right now. Emoji Police almost sure to win this game already at 17 minutes.
Absolutely. I think Emoji Police have really secured this one for themselves, and honestly, I think as a whole here in Ionia, the Division 4 style esports, they look really, really strong and consistent. I mean, this team really doesn't make mistakes. They've got good macro play. They come to team fights well prepared. They're proactive on every single objective. I mean, the vision across the map. I mean, just compare the scores up and down the line here, just between Pikaniku and Bruce Lee themselves. That's a 33-13. I mean, come on, massive difference. So in terms of the future for this team, just incredible. Oh, Shockwave onto Yomi there. Going to be forced to flashbox to Buddha over the wall with the Hex Flare. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. This actually may be turn here. Root's going to come through. Showstopper as well. Ogapuka goes for the flash there, but straight into the hands of Tony Little. Massive shutdown in his favor. Meanwhile, that's going to be the
time response.
Yep, teleport going to come through there from player number. Dredge line. Going to find its way there onto Box Buddha. Can't even get a haymaker off to save himself.
Well done. Overall, they got the Orianna. So, props to that. I think more Ogapa just going too ham versus, a great play there by the Stormwolves, but they were able to get the gold onto this Kled. More fighting.
Yeah, more fighting there onto Brian. He's going to be able to bounce out of that one. Did not have Lambs for Spite available, so they could have potentially found the kill, but his team was there ready to go, and this is what I talk about. They're there, they're shadowing, they're always proactive. I mean, they're setting up for the Rift Herald anyway, securing the vision, and as a result, Brian gets caught out. Instant response.
Exactly, and, even just the response to the Orianna being picked off, right? Ogap is going to be going down. Okay, we can take the dragon, right? They were able to secure the dragon, then they teleport in and they get a kill back straight away. This isn't a team that is going to just say, oh, you got picked off, darn, give the shutdown over and sit here. Right, they're saying, okay, we can get the dragon. We're now on Soul Point. We're going to make the response. We don't even need Orianna in these fights to win them. That's how strong we are. They were able to do just that. And, a little bit of a falter. You went a little too hard on the Orianna. The heal was up. The flash was up for the Ashe. Was able to escape. But in the end, it doesn't cost the team anything. Still has 15 stacks on the Magi's. And this team is still 8,500 gold ahead on Soul Point. They really do not look like they can be stopped.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Leo there going to be forced to use Chrono Break as we see the charge come through from Tony Lil, but it's going to go straight onto Bruce Lai. And there's the flash from player number looking for the taunt. The Facebreaker going to slow him down for just a bit longer there, but the ace in the hold there going to be tanked out by Boxing Buddha. He uses the Haymaker to shield that one through and through here, but the push is still ensuing here from Emoji.
Yeah, they are pushing down this bot lane. Leo, Sexy Lion, going to have to recall, get some more mana and HP. He does have teleport available. I'm looking for wards. There are not very many to speak of in a flank position. Maybe the ward behind the Wolf Pit if this push does come through. The Herald as well. This could be a very scary push. They might even look for an inhibitor plus. We'll see if they go for the dive at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, they dive question mark what? Stormwolves has really pulled back here on the retreat. Going to be potentially looking at this next turret. Lamb's Respite being available just makes it so easy. We're going to see the dredge, the taunt come through there onto Pika Niku. Take him low. That's going to be the Caitlyn. Poncher stacking that one up. Storm going to throw the back into the back line there under turret as we see the teleport from Lil. Lamb's Respite going to be used pretty early here to stain this one out. Taunt coming through, and that's going to be it for Tony Lil. And now, with only 3 members left alive here, this could be game. No! Massive shockwave for the triple. Boxing Buddha taken out. Lion, the only one left alive. That's the double here for player number. And with all being said, 1 Nexus turret gone. 2 Nexus turrets ticking down. Pika Nico, he's going to try to get rid of that wave. Just try to sustain out a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. And with all that, Emoji Police take the second game and the series as a whole here.
An incredibly played series there by Emoji Police. A massive statement.
19-2.
A massive statement for the group as well. They improved to 2-0 in this group. They were 2-1 over Coco Melon Gaming, and I think honestly that's a compliment to Coco Melon Gaming. The fact that they took a game off of this team, because right now the Thunder looked completely outclassed in this one. These games were not close, and we can try to play both sides of the argument if we want to, but I just think at the end of the day, these games objectively were not close. Emoji Police look like a fantastic team. They look coordinated. They look like they're always taking stuff, even when Agopa got caught out, or Ogopa, I should say, getting the dragon, going for the re-engage. They're not ever on the back foot, always looking to take more. And I think that's a sign of a really strong competitive team, is they're not, going to get set. They're not taking setbacks. They're always looking ahead.
Yeah, and that's like the $75 prize pool here for Ionia. I mean, that's pretty huge. And to be honest, Emoji Police looks like they could really take it all. Sadly, I have not seen the other teams as of yet, but just from this alone, I mean, they look really, really strong. I mean, no deaths across the board except for that little slip up from Ogopa and Bruce Lai getting caught out. I mean, they just look insane.
Yeah, this is, certainly a statement.
Yeah,
in this game for the group, and certainly
they're like screaming it.
Yeah, there's a sign up everywhere that says, yeah, Emoji Police, they're coming. And yeah, we haven't seen all the 2 teams in this group even play yet, and we'll have to wait and see how they look. But I think certainly, even after just this series, they are a contender for this group. That looks very clear, right? Even without having seen the other teams, this is a team that I think if they're playing at their peak, certainly can win this group, and other teams need to start taking seriously.
No, absolutely. So with all that being said, though, is there any last thoughts you can give towards the series here on Style?
I think we've kind of just been harping on it repeatedly. I think Thunder, they just looked flat. I think if you're going to go back to the drawing board, which I would recommend happens, I don't think you need to just throw everything away, because I think that's kind of the wrong way to look at it. But I think you just want to kind of look at the games and notice what Emoji Police are doing right, how they're capitalizing, how they have so much pressure, because this is a team that just was without tempo the entire time. They were always responding. They were always on the back foot. There wasn't even, okay, they're pushing mid, we're going to push top and take a tower and even go for that kind of a trade. That's the kind of thing that I would like to see this team do. I think, they're not, we're not trying to just hate on this team and say they're an awful team. Just today, I think it just looked outclassed by Emoji Police, who really playing a very aggressive style. It maybe came as a surprise to the Thunder a little bit too much. They just kind of blew them out of the water.
Absolutely. I think there needs to be a little bit of a change, but in terms of Emoji Police, these guys are great. But with all of that being said, on the behalf of everyone here, the 2 teams we had tonight, New England Stormwolves Thunder and Emoji Police, on behalf of the production staff, of course, we've got our main streamer here, Ewok365, doing some great work tonight. Fantastic job behind the desk. I know he's quiet, but massive props always going to be given out to guys like that. Of course, my color caster here, Jarl Carl, with the insane analysis across the board. And me, your play-by-play caster, Zephyr. we want to bode you guys to stay safe and have a good night.